Hello and welcome to The One Show with Alex Jones.
And Amal Rajan, lovely to have you back.
Nice to see you, nice to be back. How are you?
Very well, very well. I mean, this is like a break after 4 days of Easter.
Oh, the childcare.
It was lovely, but yes.
Were you in the garden?
We were in the garden. We saw some friends, which was just lovely. Can't see family yet because obviously they're in Wales. How was yours?
It was lovely. We've also in the garden, very lucky to have a garden these days, but it's a smaller garden because I took your advice. We bought a trampoline. Best free childcare.
Isn't it brilliant?
Ever. Amazing. The kids are knackered by 7 o'clock and straight into bed.
See?
Lovely.
Amazing.
Thanks,
coming up tonight, we are joined by gardening royalty Monty Don. He's here to help us announce the return of our My Chelsea Garden competition, where you can show off your spring blooms to win a very, very special prize.
It's a huge hit last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Also, the guest list with travel abroad still up in the air, and many of us thinking of holidaying closer to home. Comedian Rosie Jones will be telling us how she's been up and down the country, exploring some of the best places that Britain has to offer.
Plus, this month marks the 28th anniversary of the murder of teenager Stephen Lawrence, and later we'll hear from his brother Stuart.
He'll share his powerful story about how Stephen's death affected him and how he's now helping to change others' lives for the better.
Hope for me is a great factor to try and keep in the back of my mind at all times, and as hard as it is, there's always a bit of hope and positivity you can find in things.
It's a really amazing film, isn't it?
Amazing human being, truly inspirational.
And such a change that he's made as well.
Yeah.
Before all that, though, we're going to welcome Monty Don.
Monty.
Monty, always good to see you. Good evening. It's no problem.
Monty.
I would love to go out and have...
Excited about haircuts.
Is that what you're most excited about?
Honestly, if you saw this close up, the split ends.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Oh, honestly, Amal.
I think it looks wonderful.
Well, one person who certainly knows what a holiday in Britain could have to offer is our next guest, Rosie Jones. Now, her... Rosie! In an Anglesey, a bit of...
Expected of you, whereas as an older child,
you might not be so familiar with is the story of his brother Stuart. Well, tonight he tells us how the attack not only ended Stephen's life, but also changed the course of his life forever.
I was that typical annoying little brother. I was. I now look back on reflection and see that. And that's just because I just wanted to be like him. My name is Stuart Lawrence. When I was 16, my brother Stephen was murdered in a racist attack that shook Britain and would transform the course of my life and set me on a path to helping other young people. Stephen was the oldest, 2.5 years older than I was. I'm the middle child. And then my sister, she's 5 years younger than me. I was quite happy to be the middle child. There's not much expected of you, whereas as an older child, you have the expectation that you're one that sets the bar for the younger ones to follow. We had a happy childhood, but everything changed on the 22nd of April, 1993. Stephen was set upon by 6 men while waiting for a bus. I was at home when a neighbour came to our door. I sat at the top of the stairs just listening, and they said, we think Stephen's been involved in a fight at the bus stop. My parents rushed out to find him. Stephen wasn't the sort to be in a fight. About an hour and a half, 2 hours later, they came back home. My dad was in the kitchen, so I came down, and just an absolute state, absolute in bits. And I was kept asking, like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? And my mum told me, and yeah, I was just absolutely distraught. The next morning, I called on my best mate, Steve. Our families were very close, and he had only just heard the news.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it like vividly. I had no expectation of you like knocking for me, and you came in, and you know, I remember you like just saying to me, "You're right," and cuddling, and I was thinking, "My dear, like, you're comforting me." Just yeah, madness, and yeah, we went to school that day.
Overnight, I went from being the middle child to the eldest, and it changed my mindset completely. Stephen was he was just good at everything. English and maths, and could draw, and I then realised that I was now the person setting the bar for my younger sister. I studied hard and eventually became a graphic design teacher. I worked at a local school for 15 years. Outside the classroom, I began mentoring kids who wanted my help to try and achieve their goals. I first met John Joe when he was 16 and his father had just passed away.
One of the main things that you've helped me understand is perspective. Being able to use you as a sounding board really gave me a lot of hope.
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful for that.
I've written a book for young people about the importance of using positivity to create change in their lives. And I regularly speak at youth events.
My story starts here, at a simple bus stop.
My family had to wait a long time for any kind of justice. In 2012, due to new evidence, 2 of my brother's killers were finally found guilty.
There was a great sense of satisfaction and a great sense of achievement, but it wasn't full justice.
But despite this, it feels important to me to be able to make something positive come out of what happened to my brother.
Hope for me is a great factor to try and keep in the back of my mind at all times, and as hard as it is, there's always a bit of hope and positivity you can find in things.
I've reached many milestones in my life that Stephen didn't get a chance to. I now have a 10-year-old son.
Theo's so much like Stephen. There's so many traits that Theo has that I see and saw in Stephen. You know, he's annoyingly good at all sports. There's such an infectious personality as well. Again, that was Stephen's traits.
I always say to people, tomorrow's never promised to anyone.
That's what losing Stephen's enabled me to do, to realise that time is precious and the time that I have here that I've got to do and make something of it.
What a hero. What an amazing
He's an
human
incredible
being, Stuart
human
Lawrence,
being,
and that
isn't he?
family, what they've been through. Stuart, thank you so much for sharing your story. And as you mentioned there, Stuart's book is out now and it's called Silence is Not an Option. You can impact the world for change.